And I'm making the executive decision to cut this bracket off, because what happens is that someone sticks the hydraulic hose through it, and then the hydraulic hose gets chewed through by this sharp edge. So,
which one?
This sharp edge chews through the hydraulic hose if it gets pinched in there. So we're cutting this bracket off.
Oh, that's nice of you.
To remove the temptation. And we need to fix this, because this is supposed to be there, and it got caught when I was trying to hook this thing up in the deluge of Noah's downpour, and it got seriously wet. So I gotta change those two things, run this back to Jim's, go get my yellow wagon so that we can bring that home and service that quick. And then the next thing on the list is servicing the loader on this thing and trying to get the other hydraulic valve into it.
This is old Bob, right?
This is old Bob. This is the tractor that we bought by accident to get the drop box that turned into the splitter on the mower. And it was basically scrap when we bought it, and now it has had most of the tires changed. We fixed the brakes, upgraded the steer cylinders, and put this loader on it. And it's painfully slow. This is the case tractor that only has a 14-mile-an-hour road gear, but it's heavy enough to pull a 40-foot wagon.
And we named him Old Bob because he's older
than all the other Bob.
He's older than Mighty Bob?
Yes. This is the old fixing someone else's field fix. I think the bolt for it is in the red truck. I gotta go look.
And what did you do with this roller?
We rolled the grass field that we planted.
Oh yeah.
Through an application of leverage. I need a pipe wrench, or I gotta lift that with the tractor. Big pipe wrench is probably faster. Aha! There. Look, I'm tightening a bolt like a peasant. I don't feel like walking over and finding the correct size socket. It also doesn't need to be very tight. Broke yesterday when I was using it. Now I have to fix it.
What is it?
This is the welding stinger. That's more like it. Okay. That's not Jim, that's Uncle Cam. That's not how you do cable terminations. is when you're trying to salvage 50-year-old shit and you're in a hurry. It's the cursed 9/16 thread.
Well, it's built out of another man's pile of shit.
Uncle can't help. What's up, buddy?
I gotta knock the slag off if you want to see what it actually looks like, but I'm gonna do one quick pass on the backside and then knock the slag off the front. As we like to say around here, it's as good as it never was. Back up.
1 second, just focusing on it.
You know, high precision drawing. Gummy, probably because they're still hot, so we're just going to send this on with the Lord's Loctite.
What is this thing now?
It's an isolator to keep the hoses off the hood and off the sharp edges of this cutter bar. Smoking welding glove. Oh, that ended up pointing the wrong direction. Okay, so this is the part. You can come from the side here, is probably the best. Shoot from here. So we discovered. Are you filming? So we discovered that the internet lied to me. I'm not totally sure whether most of the deception was on the speed of that hydraulic motor or the required spindle speed of the disc mower, but in any case, according to the first math, I could direct drive this pulley. So if you look at some of the early footage, that's where the hydraulic motor is mounted. And we discovered that it was in fact running something like half speed, which meant that I had to put the center pulley back in, which is a 16-inch pulley. So it gives me basically a 2-to-1 step up on the 8-inch pulley, which got our front speed up to where it's supposed to be. Now we're running around 1,000 psi of drive pressure on the hydraulics, with it freewheeling at full speed, which is a lot more than it was running at half speed, but now it's functional. And it still means that we're only at 20% load freewheeling, which gives us plenty for actual cutting, because this is a 5,000 psi hydraulic system. So it should be good. We just have the most Dr. Zeus of reaction arms on that now to get around the pulley here. But it's all bolted together so that future me isn't cursing past me when I need to change the belt. So at the back here we have a bunch of stuff bastardized together. So the SCVs are moved up by 1 3/4 to try to make room for the drive shaft, which I ended up with 1/8 of an inch of clearance on top of the drive shaft after cutting half the bracket away. We ended up using the 3-inch drive shaft that originally came with the 2670, with the end welded onto it very carefully from the original 1470/1200 PTO box, because trying to get an adapter yoke to the C6 drive shaft was like $900 and nobody knew when it would get here. So we built an adapter drive shaft, shortened it, shimmed or moved the 3-point hitch arms down, or not the arms, but this cross tube down by 4 inches, because this bolt hole originally lined up with this bolt hole. So then the bottom of this is welded because there's no really easy way of getting in there. And then these 2 bolts are re-drilled because originally they were these 2 holes lined up with these 2 holes. And then in order to get this to fit at all, there's a 6.5-inch spacer to hold the bottom of it, and the clearance between the bottom of the box and the drawbar down there is 1/8 of an inch. This is the hydraulic, or the step up and hydraulic motor from the Case 8380 mowers, and they are a piston pump and an axial piston motor, which are like 98% efficient or something like that. So we'll see how it goes running the disc mower, but on the sickle mowers, they're actually an efficient enough pump and motor combination that it makes so little hydraulic oil temperature that you don't need a dedicated cooler. Just the reservoir is enough to cool it. This reservoir has less surface area than the boom of the mower because it's square, but it still has 45 gallons of oil in it.
Do you have anything to say about this thing up here?
That's the reservoir.
Yeah.
That's a filter housing. The hydraulic relief valve is shimmed. We're going to find out exactly what it's shimmed to. And we have, hard to reach, a drive pressure gauge up there so that we can know how hard we're pushing it and try to keep it around 4,000 psi, but we should have 1,000 psi in reserve. And we have enough hydraulics on the back of the tractor now to make it look like we're running an air seeder.
What is that?
I went and robbed the graves of the dead at the Neighbors and found this piece of perforated steel, which I have had a hard time getting, and it's off of a Swedish combine. It was marketed as a co-op combine in Western Canada in the 80s. But it gives me enough perforated steel to build a cover for the front of the tractor, and we're going to put an extra vent in the top of the hood. But we might see how badly we do before we cut that, since we're in a hurry. But I got to make this and attach it to the front of the tractor to cover the hole.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because the white one never made it back.
No, well, the white one didn't fit, and this one's corrugated, which gives it more surface area, which is good, but it's also broken, and I can't get a replacement. Watch out, Jimmer. forgot to take off lens cap.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Now we need to build a sheet metal bender quick. Oh, except this is breaking. Dang it, this isn't gonna work at all if it's breaking. I'll have to make it a wider radius. Maybe it's, oh no, it's not breaking. The paint is breaking. It's an approximation of one that I saw an old journeyman, well, I used to work for years ago and far away. An old journeyman tin bashing. This tool is a portable metal brake made specifically for this thickness of steel, and it lets you slide it over up to the line, if we can figure out which line is the right one, and then you can bend 6-inch sections at a time. On lighter gauge material you can make them longer, but on this thickness of steel, 6 inches is about all you're going to get by hand anyways. And then in order to not stretch it too much in between, leave a little space, and as I bend this down, that space will more or less bend down as well. We can use the end of it to reach this last bit. Between the hammer and the if I was less in a hurry and had spent more than 15 minutes on the tool, I could do a little bit nicer job of this. So this gives me a stiffened edge, because otherwise this perforated steel is really weak. And if my ichrometer was correct on my piece of scrap that I chose, ow. Oh, I got a lot. Apparently.
Oh,
In the right spot. How did you do it? Any tries later. Get it to fit. Smart. The issue, as with when I cannot find the materials that I so desire, end up doing things with the materials that I indeed have, which was that.
from your, what was it, Chinese combine?
No, Swedish combine.
Oh.
Does the impact fit? Sort of. Now I need a short socket.
Now it has a,
Mostly covered front.
what is that,
Oh, red beard.
a nose cover?
It has a red beard.
Or red beard?
So Captain Loudly and Slowly has come home. We're gonna go test it.